very different type of walk today. I'm up on Bodmin Moor.
Shine so brightly when I'm coming home to you.
Just forgotten Loudon Hill, I think. There's Rough Tor, and then Little Rough Tor, and that's where we're going, Showery Tor, up that way.
Won't be long until I see your smile, like the sun you shine.
I've not really been up on Bodmin Moor much. Last time I was up here was on my resistance to interrogation and escape and evasion course. So not only is that different, but I've been asked to come up by a friend, Lizzie. She's got a gallery in Boscastle. A woman came in and started talking to her in a gallery. She's an artist and she creates landscape sculptures, I think you could describe them as. Basically spirals out of rock in nice places. And she's made one up there, and she asked if she knew anyone who had a drone. So here I am. So I'm going to take the dogs, they're in there. I'm going to go for a walk on Bodmin Moor and take some photos of the spiral. So this is the first time I've been back to Bodmin Moor, and it's very different since last time I was here. It was horrible weather. It was honking down with rain. It was on my resistance to interrogation and escape and evasion course, better known as a SEER course. And you basically go on the run for a couple of days, or for about a week, get captured and they interrogate you. I don't think I'm giving away any state secrets by saying that. And you partner up, and I was partnered with this lad called Danny, and I had a look at the map, and there's two parts to the training area on Bodmin Moor, and with the A30 running in between, and there's a tunnel that goes right underneath. And knowing what the military are like, you know that you're going to be going through that tunnel at some point. So I went and got a Tupperware box, huge Tupperware box, and filled it up with food, and then I hid it with a poncho, like a shelter. And I went out the first night and got the Tupperware box, and me and Danny, I sort of shared the food out between us. And whenever I looked at him, he was always eating, and the DS were there for like the first day or so. And I had to go up to him, so whenever I caught him actually talking to the DS, and he was eating food. They give you a packed lunch at the start of the week, so there is a bit of food. But every time he was there, he was eating something different. I had to go, Danny, we're supposed to be on a survival exercise. Can you stop eating in front of the DS? There we go. You see how far I've come from the stream there, and I've had to stop and take my leg off, which is really disappointing. Oh. I was hoping it'd get sorted. I don't know what to do. Really don't know what to do. It's so different to Dartmoor. For two landscapes that really look similar. I don't know if you can see Rough Tor behind me. To be so different, they've got a very different feel about them. I think Bodmin Moor certainly seems a lot more empty and bleak. I know Dartmoor is bleak, or can appear bleak. It's I don't know, it's really hard to put your finger on. It's something very different about the two places. Cornwall's very different to Devon, especially the interior of Cornwall, where we are now. The coast is beautiful, but the interior, it's almost like in parts, a post-industrial wasteland, which is exactly what it was. It was a lot of mining, and it's quite a deprived area now, the UK. Very deprived area as far as jobs and everything go. And you've got us townies from up London coming down here and taking all the houses. Which means house prices go up, wages are very low, which makes life difficult for local people. beautiful though. So we're headed now to Showery Tor, I think it's called, which is where the spiral installation, I don't know what you'd call it, is. I'm quite intrigued. I've seen a few pictures and it does look quite impressive. So we'll see what it is. And this is Friday, 1st of May Day, and it's quite apt really going to look at some art, or an art installation, after somewhere in the middle of London Banksy's put that big statue. I saw it, I thought it was fantastic. Despite art being my only O-level, I don't profess to know anything about it, and I think if, you know, to say what was my art of choice, it'd be music. Music is the thing that moves me. I suppose I get moved by landscapes as well. I'm just looking here and there's a what we'd call a bun line, but this line here you can see stretching along and round. Looks like an ancient structure, and if you look at the OS map of Bodmin Moor, it's absolutely littered with antiquities. I don't know, which gives it a real ancient feel, which is more pronounced, I think, than Dartmoor. Dartmoor as well is full of antiquities, but you're tripping over stone circles here on Bodmin Moor. Absolutely stunning. Yeah, so my, you know, I suppose I'm moved most by music. And I've been thinking a lot about that, mainly because I got given a book by someone. I can't remember what the book's called, but the book is basically about how music interacts with your brain. So it's co-authored, one of the first pioneering black female music producers. She produced a couple of Prince's albums. It's at top of a game, and then she went into academia and research, going into research in music. The other co-author is a neuroscientist, so they do lots of experiments where play different music and see how that affects different parts of the brain. And it's really interesting. As like at the start of the book, it talks a lot about conceptual art and conceptual, more abstract paintings, things like that, and music that has less of a structure, kind of like jazz, but more conceptual music, and how they affect the same parts of the brain. So two very different art forms, but because they're both abstract, they're affecting the same part of the brain. And then the chapter I'm talking about now, oi, Nora, stay close. It's talking about the interaction between lyrics and the music, how they are interpreted or interact with different parts of the brain, and how, so say like a dark, really deep lyrics might be juxtaposed against really light, airy music, and how that really just messes with the brain and actually has a completely different effect to, you know, dark lyrics and a kind of dark musical landscape. Look at me. But how that is very different, reacts with your brain in a very different way. Don't know if you see the plane or hear the plane up there, but it's just reminded me, over there is a big massive airfield that I drove through, and I was just reminded because on my escape and evasion course, we had to cross the whole of Bodmin Moor, and we spent one night there, and I knew we was probably going back the other way, and you've got to watch, so, and you know what day it is, and you know roughly when the course finishes, and you kind of work backwards, and you know, oh well, we're getting captured in the morning. When we was in the woods, I went and found everybody else and asked them the route they took. 'Cause my mission was to keep me feet as dry as possible for as long as possible, and I didn't want to get wet feet before I got interrogated. So I sort of asked everybody, and there's about 4k that way, if I remember rightly, there's a big hill, and I worked out a route to this hill, and I said to Danny, I says, right, we're going to go up this way, up to the top of this hill, and then we're going to get captured. He went, what do you mean captured? I went, trust me. And that's what we did. We got to the top of the hill, and a few Marines come running out, and they were like, oh, who goes there? All excited because they captured someone. And because I knew they were Marines, I was like, who's in charge of you lads? Who's your sergeant? They went, Sergeant Spear. I was like, Spiros, take me to your leader, because I knew him. And out the gloom, Spiros sort of appeared, and I went, Spiros, and who's that? I goes, it's Frank. He goes, what are you doing here? I goes, what do you think? And he gave us a cup of tea, and he gave us a lift to the point where we had to be like hours later. So we was able to get in a hedge, put the poncho up, so it was absolutely hoying it down. And we had a dry night underneath a poncho. We were stuffed full of all the food that I'd pre-positioned and eaten. And we walked in and got captured the next morning, having cheated the whole of the exercise. Hey, it's not the cheating, it's the getting caught. Right, looking out now for a spiral. Trying to see where it is.
City lights, they shine so brightly when I'm coming home to you. Every night when I'm driving home, all I think about is you. Won't be long until I see your smile, like the sun you shine on through.
Right, so here I am on Showery Tor, next to Rough Tor, which is there. I'd have expecting to see an artist and a spiral, and I can see neither. Bloody hell, what a waste of time.
All I think about is
Right, I'm going to quickly look over there.
won't be long until I'm by your side, just like the sun you shine on through.
Nope, I can see no spiral. There is definitely not a spiral on Showery Tor. I can confirm.
Won't be long until I see your smile, just like the sun you shine on through.
You're having a giraffe, aren't you? Oh well. Got myself a coffee. Well, that was slightly annoying. Toria Immortalia isn't anywhere to be seen. And neither is a bloody spiral. Right, make myself a coffee, and then I'm going to go home. Are you disappointed? Was you looking forward to seeing the spiral? It takes all sorts, I suppose, doesn't it? Right, I've updated my cook set from the other night when we was camping with Doc, and I had my Primus Omnifuel, which is a stove I used to use in Norway, and I've gone back S1E2. This is years old, Jetboil. Might have had this one on my senior command course, I think. So I've gone back to that. Gone back to a Jetboil. And some Billy took me into getting this, which is an AeroPress, but a camping one. So it's a cup. It all comes together in that. So let's get some water on first of all. Think about making a coffee. Whilst I'm doing that, I keep getting flashbacks to my my SEER course, my Resistance to Interrogation and Escape Evasion course. And it's not so much my course. Because I hid, and that's quite steady, because I hid a load of food on my course, and it worked quite well for me. I basically told everybody else at the unit that that's what I did, and a guy did it himself called Si, and my good mate Tomo, on the course before mine, he busted his shoulder. He got medically taken off that course and put on the course after me. So he was on the course before me. Oh, actually I should measure this out. He was on the course before me, and then he got put on the course after he popped his shoulder out. And this guy Si, who was also at the unit, he hid a load of food as well, but they found it, the DS found it, and at the end they basically got the course together, and they were like accused them like someone of cheating. Oh, obviously they had cheated, but because Tomo had been on the course before, they said, right, right, we know one of you's in here has been on the course before, so all we want you to do is just own up. And Tomo was like, what, do you mean me? They went, yeah. They said, no, we're not accusing anyone. I said, well, you obviously are accusing me. And the thing is, the Tupperware box side was quite posh, and he put things like olives, hummus, and potato salad and stuff like that in. And Tomo goes, anyway, if I was to bury any food, it would be fucking hummus. I mean, it was more affronted that they accused him of eating potato salad than actually cheating. That's a good coffee. That is a good coffee, you know. Philosophical thought for the day. Never trust an earth goddess. Cheers. Things you weren't expecting to say today.